Hi there, welcome back to another week of Counter-Strike game and skin market update. This is SKINOMIX2, and this video covers the 1st to 7th of September 2025. Starting with the Armory Pass, the market momentum have pushed the return on unboxing for most collections up significantly. This means that your game time is now worth much more if you decide to level up passes as you play. Although as expected, the Solitude has declined as more are unboxed. I am still personally not a fan of this skin. Moving on to the Austin sticker capsules, the theme of the market in the past week has been erratic growth, and it has even affected these, although they can still be purchased straight from the in-game store. The most expensive of these is the Contender Team sticker capsule, which contains both the Tyloo and Limvision stickers. Same goes for the Souvenir packages with the highlight charms, whereby 6 are now profitable instead of the 4 last week. Theoretically, buying these and unboxing them will net you a healthy profit if prices remain where they are. Moving on now to the pumps of this week. I personally feel tired instead of excited coming from traditional finance in all honesty, as this erratic behavior is not sustainable nor rational. Regardless, Deagles appear to have been the biggest target this week, as all discontinued factory new skins have grown by over 20% if not more. The leaded glass M4 has continued its climb to $200, whereas although slowly, agents have continued to grow despite its already quite high valuation compared to its history. Looking at better news, multiple sources have suggested that the prompts which have warned players when 2 are too far apart on a trust factor scale have returned to Counter-Strike. Apparently, these warnings have been missing since CSGO. It may suggest Valve is working on this anti-cheat in the background, but I will not get my hopes up too much. For the biggest headline this week, we turn our attention to the Chinese pro scene. The whole fiasco first started when Boros posted on Twitter, alleging somebody who used to play for Rare Atom asked him to match fix. Afraid of trouble, Boros had bought himself out of the contract he signed with the Chinese team Jijiehao back in July of this year. Then, over in China, a streamer by the name of Shukbai came out with a 37-minute exposé diving into more details. He states that Chengpeng, also known as CP, is a ringleader who works with somebody in match-fixing games. Somebody as a professional player is a key link to approaching other players to participate. Boros' case whereby somebody reached out during a night out at a bar has been presented as evidence for this arrangement. Furthermore, somebody has also apparently used cheats in online tournaments to Rare Atom's advantage. The exposé went grander from there. Shukbai accused CP crew to be the one behind both ATOX and WingUp's match-fixing scandals in recent years. The governing body ESIC had knew that the masterminds behind these scandals were Chinese, but could not identify who prior to this. Then, Jijiehao's ex-shareholder jumped on the stream and accused Dog Evil of cheating as well, which is somehow also related to CP's crew. Finishing off the exposé, Shukbai came up with evidence in the form of transfer records. He also demanded a response from Rare Atom and stated that both Tyloo and Limvision have been victims in this case. Rare Atom replied within a day. They denied all claims of the club being involved, and would like authorities to prosecute somebody if any of the accusations were found to be true. Somebody himself also jumped on camera, denying all accusations despite the public sentiment leaning against him. As the old saying goes, all publicity is good. In the case for somebody's sticker, the statement might just be true, as it shot up the moment Boros tweeted on the 4th of September. Lastly, the tournament host ESL is reportedly putting more pressure on its competitor PGL. ESL has been known for scheduling events that are unfeasible to attend for those who participate in PGL events and advance to the final. In this case, they are straight up threatening teams which participate in PGL Belgrade at the end of October from attending IEM Chengdu in early November. Finally, let's move on to our weekly craft idea. We have a Lightning McQueen craft this week. Using the arms race sticker, you can attach a tail of lightning formed by a bolt strike, 2 bolt charges, and another bolt strike in that order. The entire craft is quite cheap at under $2 US. Switching gears to market analysis. The SKINOMIX2 index, which contains a list of items I use to represent the market, increased by another 2.86% this week, marking the 4th week of increases in a row. However, I am increasingly concerned at the way the market is moving. The eSport Fire Index, which contains a list of 300 high-value liquid items, also showcases a story of continued growth, with almost a 45-degree trendline on the upside. Moving on to buff value of trade and trade volume data sourced from the cheap instant skin trading site iTrade.gg. We are seeing increasing market activity both in terms of volume and value traded. A similar picture is mirrored with the total value and volume data sourced from SteamDT. Almost 2.5 million items were traded across platforms on a daily basis in the past week. Now, let's break the skin market movements this week down into categories. Starting off with knives and gloves, we saw mixed results here as the growth last week appeared to have cooled. Higher tiered weapon skins did not follow its footstep. The Blaze Deagle has increased by over 20%, as it was part of the Deagle skin pump this week. More expensive agents did well, whilst cheaper agents, which have already risen significantly, detracted from the growth. Last but not least, in the affordable weapon segment, we have seen a general increase which is healthy for the market. Moving on, according to CS2 case tracker, we saw a continued rebound in case unboxing numbers, albeit still behind numbers seen in July. Player numbers have detracted again, which perhaps explained the slightly lower unboxing numbers. Non-active case prices declined overall, with only the Gamma 2 case being spared in my selection this week. Return on unboxing hovers slightly higher, despite still being a measly 50 to 60% on average. Active cases declined as well, with the kilowatt being down by over 5% this week. The degree of decline is quite small, hence I will not highlight movements this week too much. Let's now take a glimpse at this week's biggest winners and losers. In winners, as we have spoken about in the headlines, more factory new skins from discontinued collections made the list. However, a surprising appearance comes from the JL Gold from the most recent major, which is still on sale. I suppose some see a long-term potential, as it is a nice looking sticker. The biggest losers this week come from some of the pumped up items in the past 2 weeks reaching their dump phase. Stockholm stickers especially are now losing momentum, as bigger players look to exit their positions. Onto the top trades of the week, also sourced from the skin trading site iTrade.gg. Buff's top trades this week were quite boring, with 3 emerald butterflies making up the list. These have been going for around the vicinity of $22,500 US on Buff. On CS Float, the top place was a Kato 14 Challenger capsule, selling for $37,600. A significant increase in price from the last sale. Second and third places were also emerald butterflies like on Buff. Moving into game news, there were 2 updates this week, but there was nothing exciting. Perhaps the biggest highlight was the typo on the patch note for the update on the 6th. In saying that, the bobbing glitch as reported by Thor on Twitter last week has been patched, which is good news I guess. Now onto the pro scene. In a surprising turn of events, G2 bested Vitality to take home Blast Open London. Heavy God found his form to take home the MVP of the event. October 6th, which will see the attendees for the next major decided, is fast encroaching. Current VRS scoring will mean the teams shown on screen will make the Budapest major. One notable exception in attendees is Liquid, which is quite far away from making the major. Moving on, in transfers, Astralis has confirmed the signing of Magisk in replacement for Stavin. Stavin has reported health issues, which has been cited as the reason for his departure. Wildcard has made a slew of changes to the dismay of 9. The team recalled Faizi from loan and also signed Fiku. Their bench player Sonic went to join NRG. Virtus Pro promoted Toro from their junior team, whilst Perfecto takes over the in-game leader duty. Daicha departed BetClick. Alistair and Valiance departed Semper Fi. Smooyao will stand in for Wrinkle for NIP at Fragadelphia. Accor signs with Ecstatic. And lastly, the whole Blue Jays roster signed with Skingrave. I am still open to skin donations, and a reminder to join my Discord. Please like, share and subscribe. On that bombshell, that was all for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye.